Hi there, my name is Sydney Smith, and today's practice is centered around the theme of patience. So, allowing ourselves to be supported and sustained without the need to force or rush. In this practice, we'll explore patience physically through a lot of longer and grounded postures. We're gonna explore this patience intellectually through observing our reactions to stillness. We'll explore this patience spiritually through trust and surrender, and even energetically through the Pranamaya Kosha, the energetic body. It's connected to our breath. So this will be a gentle and mindful movement with breath awareness and a longer savasana at the end. So I want to preface by saying that we're going to, of course, need blocks just in case we still feel like we need any support. Again, we're trying to have patience and nourish our body. So you might need some blocks. I always love having a bolster for the savasana at the end. So if you are like me, you can use a bolster. A good thing that you might have at home that's similar to a bolster is like the back of a couch or even pillows from your bed. You can honestly use any big fluffy, you can wad up a blanket. And then I do have just a Mexican style blanket. So if you want that just to support your knees during any groundwork, you might have that close by, and of course any kind of water that you might need. So this is going to be a yoga flow that's centered around this patience of kind of tapping into our body, because every day there's rushing, there's deadlines, there's so much going on. So I'd like us to really, as we step onto the mat, let go of the world around us. The earth is holding us constantly without us even asking for anything in return. So we're going to try and practice this ourselves to be supported rather than striving and rushing. So we're just going to have this practice be longer holds, ground postures, and slow transitions. Now we're going to try and notice any kind of impatience or anticipation or urge to move ahead. Okay, so trusting that you're already supported, you're already held. Now the energetic layer, the self connected to our breath and the life force energy, we're going to be really mindful of how we're breathing and when we're breathing. We're connected to the feeling of being nurtured and sustained from within, so we're going to really try and strive for this. The first 5 minutes of practice, we're going to start with a 5-minute meditation, okay? So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you feel called to. Now this guided meditation in the beginning, we're going to try and notice the places your body is already supported. So go ahead and get into a very comfortable position. If that's on a bolster or a block, whatever that looks like for you. For the next 5 minutes, we're just going to be here. Okay, we're going to practice this patience, okay? Notice where your body is supported, the floor beneath you, your breath moving for you effortlessly. steadiness. You're slowly inhaling. Maybe you're starting to get into a more comfortable position, maybe getting some wiggles out. The idea is that we're starting this hour together, this practice of patience, letting go of anticipation, with just being in our body, letting go of what might be something that we have to do at work, something that we might have to do after. Practicing this patience also can look like being patient with ourselves and gently guiding our mind back to what's right in front of us, right? The here and now. Slowing down. Letting muscles start to relax, shifting our shoulders away from our ears. Maybe even our ears drop as our face starts to relax. Our jaw, our eyebrow, our forehead starts to loosen up. So just remember that the earth is supporting you in this journey. As you breathe in and out, you're slowly inhaling with your belly, your chest, your ribs. Slowly exhaling with our chest, our ribs, our belly. So allow the breath to hold you rather than trying to control it. Slowly inhale through your belly, up through your ribs, into your chest. Slowly exhale out our chest, out of our ribs, out from our belly. We'll do that one final time. Slow inhale in through our belly, our ribs, up to our chest. Pause, and then slowly exhale, letting go of the chest, our ribs, our belly. Okay, go ahead and begin to softly move your fingers, maybe even start to round out your shoulders, roll them maybe backwards. If you still feel like your eyes feel great closed here, then you can continue to keep them closed. You can also begin to blink them open. Maybe you start to roll your shoulders forwards by switching directions. Okay. So we're going to transition into our first little warm-up, which is going to be some cat-cows, okay? So we're going to move slow enough to feel each small transition. Now, we're going to go through 5 or 6 cat-cows, maybe at your own pace. Maybe you kind of bring your buttocks kind of around, maybe just giving your body a little bit of movement after that stillness. And as we go through this practice, just remember that, we'll have to have patience with ourselves. So you've just arrived on your mat for the first time today. Your body's not warmed up, so we're taking our time, being patient, getting out of any kind of stiffness, getting some movement, connecting to your breath as you go into your cat-cows. About 5 rounds at your own pace. Again, slowly. We're not rushing anything. Just having an immense gratitude for showing up today, giving our bodies some movement, even when things get hectic and busy and it's hard to slow down and dedicate time to ourselves. We're going to go into threading the needle. So go ahead and stack your knees underneath your hips and tuck your toes. We're going to have our hands, going to line them up just a little bit wider than shoulder width. I like to have mine just a tiny bit wider because we're going to go into threading the needle, which we don't want to have this narrow support. We kind of want it a little bit wider. So I'm going to go ahead and go about shoulder widths, and I'm going to raise my left hand up, taking a big deep breath. And as we exhale, we're going to thread that needle all the way through to our right side. You might even take your head to the ground with your ear. And here's an option for maybe even getting a little bit more advanced here and taking your right arm and hooking it up against your left hip for a bind. I'm going to stay here for about 3 or 4 breaths. Okay, if you took that bind, go ahead and unravel, placing your right hand on the ground to support you lifting yourself back up. Go ahead and push back up to tabletop. And we're going to go on to our left side here. So go ahead and breathe in. Reaching your right hand all the way up to the sky, breathing in, filling your lungs all the way to the top. And as you exhale, you're going to thread that right hand all the way to the left side of your mat. And if you are wanting to take a bind, you can choose to put your left arm on your right hip crease
Just make sure you're not pushing yourself over to the left side, that you're counterbalancing yourself for this deep stretch. And take 3 deep breaths here. Relaxing into this pose, having patience with our body as it begins to twist and bind and stretch. Have patience for where you're at now. Not trying to push when all we need to do is be held. Okay, if you took that bind, go ahead and release that left hand back down to the mat. Pushing, helping it support you back up with your right hand. Take that one more time up into the air. Breathe in. And as you exhale, plant your right hand back down onto the mat. Now, we're going to go ahead and go into child's pose. You're going to send your butt all the way back to the back of the mat. And your hands is up to you here if you want to have a wide-legged child pose or more of a narrow one, whichever one feels more support for you. If your back is really tight, this more narrow child's pose will really help stretch out the spine. And if you're looking to maybe have a little bit more deep of a stretch in your hips, in your arms, we might go for a wide leg child pose. So this shape really is trying to symbolize being held by the earth. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths in child's pose with me. Really melting in, letting go. Have patience with whatever tension might be coming up for you. Guiding your mind back to the mat, back to the here and now. Okay, and as you come back up out of child's pose, come up into a tabletop. You're going to slow and steady line your wrists underneath your shoulders, stack your hips underneath your knees underneath your hips. We're going to untuck our toes here. We're going to move with awareness, let go of any urgency that we might have. Okay. We're going to breathe in and we're going to have our right hand go up and our left foot go back for a bird dog. You might choose to keep your gaze down with the crown of your head, stretching toward that right hand. If it feels more comfortable, you could tuck the back toes for more stability. Whatever feels best for you here. Remember not to crash into our back like a bow, but keep our back sturdy, straight. As you breathe in, fill your lungs up with air, and exhale, returning your hand and knee back to the mat. Notice how maybe your body feels as you return back to tabletop, any stretches or tension you might have. As we shift into the next side, we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, reach out with your left arm and your right leg. Finding stability, trusting that the earth is underneath us. Having patience if we're losing our balance. being kind to our body. Breathe in, and as we exhale, return back down to the mat. We're going to push up into a downward dog, our first one for the day. And we're gonna pedal it out. This might be our first one for today, and our body has been on the floor for the most part, so we're getting a little bit of movement. We might even bend our knees generously, having patience with how stiff our body might feel. Maybe swollen because it might be hot, or stiff because it's cold. And we're gonna very slowly start walking our feet to the top of our mat to meet our hands. And we're gonna go into a little bit of a ragdoll pose here. You can choose to grab each elbow and sway. This part is up to you if you choose to go into a bind here with your elbows. Let gravity support you. As we lift up into mountain pose, pause here with intentionality. We're gonna do some half sun salutations, about 2 or 3 rounds. We're gonna inhale and let our arms all the way up above our head, inhale. And then exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale, half fold our shin. Our hands go to our shins as we halfway lift. And then we exhale, fold. Lift all the way up, one slow vertebrae at a time. Inhale and our arms go up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Our hands go to our shins. Exhale, fold. Slow, one vertebrae at a time. Begin to have patience with your body, feeling your back stretch all the way up toward the sky. Have trust that the earth underneath you is supporting you. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. We're slowing our pace. Okay, go ahead and plant your hands on the ground. Step back into a plank. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists. We're gonna count to 5, making sure our back is straight and supported. Our tailbone is tucked. Our core is tight. Inhale, push back into downward dog. Inhale, our right leg goes up.
exhale, we're going to plant our right foot in between our hands. And we're going to lift up into a warrior one. Making sure that our body is stacked. Our right foot has support for our knee. Our left foot is hinged. And we're going to extend into warrior two. We're going to take 5 breaths in warrior two. Strength and patience can coexist. Trusting that underneath our feet, our body, the earth is supporting us. Really trying to slow our movements down, our breath, having control, knowing that our breath can control our body, that we're in the driver's seat, and we're allowed to stop and take a rest. We don't have to be in the fast lane all the time. We're going to shift into warrior one. Take a big deep breath. Go ahead and frame the hands around your right foot. Release your right foot back to the end of the mat. Push back to downward dog. Lift up your left leg, stacking your hips square to one another. Instead of going for a 3-legged dog, we're keeping our hips square to the front of the mat. Big deep breath in. Our left leg goes in between our hands at the top of our mat. We lift up into warrior one, breathing in. Exhale, we're going to shift into warrior two. Again, remembering how powerful we are, the strength that we hold, the strength in the quietness, the quiet strength with our mind, with our patience, our body, it's all connected. Breathing in, we're going to shift back into warrior one. Cartwheel our hands down to the top of the mat, pushing our left foot back into downward dog. Coming into child's pose, bending down into a tabletop, pushing our butt back. Taking a few breaths here, noticing how the body feels coming up from the earth. Feeling any movement or vibration or energy in our legs. Having patience with this slow flow that you showed up to today. To connect to your breath and your body and truly feel held. As you breathe in, on your exhale,
push your way back up, one step at a time. Getting into a comfortable seated forward fold. We're going to have our legs come out in front of us. Breathing in as our hands go above our head. And as we exhale, folding over our legs, reaching to wherever that our hands land, whether it be the top of our thighs, whether it be our shins, or maybe even our feet. As you begin to fold, take a few deep breaths, noticing how it feels underneath your thighs and your hamstrings. Noticing how it feels in your shoulders and in your spine to do this forward fold. We'll do this 2 more times. Noticing how it feels now as we release our hands from wherever they land and make our way back up to a tall spine. Feeling the difference from this forward fold to the next one, breathing in with our hands above our head. And as we exhale, landing wherever our hands choose to land. Maybe we have patience to get our hands to our ankles, to our shins. Having patience if we need that slight bend in our knees. As you breathe in, feel the air in your spine fill up. As you exhale, feel the fold increase with any kind of extension that you can manage. On an exhale, return to our tall spine. Planting our hands on the top of our thighs, take 2 deep breaths in at your own pace, filling up your lungs, expanding in your ribs, noticing your chest rise. As you exhale, noticing your chest fall, the tension that's relieved in your lungs. Maybe even the shoulders drop as you exhale. And as you breathe in, filling up all of your airway, all your lungs, all the way to the tippity top. As you exhale, notice any tension that you were able to let go of. We're going to take a tiny little bind here, and we're going to go into a figure 4. So we're going to lie on our back, and as we go into this figure 4 position, if you choose to have any kind of blanket underneath you for support on your lower back or your butt or maybe even your spine, feel free to take your blanket and cushion it as much as possible, as much as you feel comfortable with. I like to do this to support my back. My spine is always very irritated with me. So I'm gonna just fold a blanket for any kind of groundwork. So as we come onto our back, we're going to lift both knees up and cross our left leg over our right. We might even bind our hands around our thigh, or you could reach a little bit further here and grab your shin. Always try to push that left leg or the leg that's crossed away from the body. So I'm going to keep my figure four position here and wrap around my thigh. I'm going to push with my left elbow, my left thigh away from my body, keeping my toes flexed in either foot, taking in a lot of deep breaths, letting go of any tension, feeling the ground underneath. And as we exhale, return back to our lifted legs. We're going to cross our right leg over our left. And if you choose to keep your arms on your thigh, like me, we can stay here and make sure our right elbow is pushing away our right thigh. Or if you feel like you need the extra stretch in this right glute, this right area of our leg, we might want to even go further on our shin, keeping our toes flexed and pushing still away with our either right hand, or maybe it's just our right elbow. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling, letting it all go, dropping to our mat. We're going to grab our feet for a happy baby. We might even stretch out a right leg, maybe even stretch out the left leg, maybe both of them, if that feels good. Remember, you're a blissful, happy baby practicing patience. Patience with yourself, being able to move slowly, really counterbalancing our day-to-day lives. Having a slight smile in our blissful, happy baby position. We're gonna drop our feet to our mat. And what we're gonna do is windshield our legs from either side. And we're gonna meet our legs onto the right and left side about 3 times. Really trying to keep our shoulder blades on the ground so we can get that true twist. And whichever way you're twisting to, feeling it in our hips, maybe even the top of our thighs. Very slow, moving side to side. Maybe following your legs to the left on an exhale, moving on an inhale to the right. Again, connecting to your breath and knowing that you can return to your breath at any point of your day, that your breath is in true control of your body. As we return, go ahead and put your legs out long. Cross your right foot over your left. And then we're gonna take this banana shape here. We're gonna put both hands above our heads, grabbing our right arm with our left wrist, really feeling this side stretch in the right side body. Breathing into that right side, feeling the air travel through the lungs all the way up your arms. Feeling your breath expand in your ribs and on the right side of your hips. As we begin to shift to the other side, go ahead and sigh that all the way out. Letting go of that right side. We're gonna shift my buttocks to the left side of the mat, grabbing my left arm with my right hand, crossing my left foot over my right, really feeling that stretch in the left side body, feeling it in the armpit, travel down to your chest, your ribs, maybe even down into your hips. Taking in one last deep breath and sighing it out. Releasing any twist that we have. We're going to cactus our arms out on either side, bringing our knees to our chest, releasing our right foot out long. Our left knee is bent in the air. We shift it over our body to the right side to take a side twist here. You can choose to keep your cactus arms. If it's comfortable, you might want to have your left arm go out long and your right lay on that left knee. Or if you're comfortable feeling held by the earth with cactus arms as you feel your left knee across your body. Letting go of any tension that you have in your glutes, in your spine, maybe even in the upper back or your toes. Truly letting this twist do the work for you with gravity, having patience with this twist, that it will release any tightness you might have in the middle of your back. Take a big breath in. Return to center. Plant that left leg out long. Big breath in, lifting that right leg to your chest. Big breath in and exhaling to the right or to the left side with your right knee landing wherever it needs to land, whether it's on the ground, a block. Again, remember you can cactus your arms. Feel a chest opener as the earth is holding you. Feel your breath. Feel the patience with this twist. If it's more comfortable to have your right arm stretch out long and your left hand on that right knee, do what's comfortable for your body. Breathing into this position. Feel the breath in your spine, loosening in your glutes as you exhale. Any tension you might be holding in your back. As you inhale, return to center. Exhaling, feeling your body with the 2 twists that we did, how different our spine might feel. Taking in 2 breaths again, trusting the patience. Gently guiding your mind back to your breath. Noticing any kind of energy that might be flowing through your spine. Any energy that might not be stagnant, but fluid and moving. Taking in 1 deep breath here. Again, noticing how the body feels. Different from when you started this practice versus now. All of the patience that it took to get to the end of this practice and enter into this luxury bliss of corpse pose where we lay our body in its final resting position. Now at this time, you might want to use a bolster or a blanket. Maybe you have a pillow nearby. As we come into our final resting pose, we want to really scan our body in a comfortable way. So if you need a block or a bolster or a blanket, take this time to get comfortable. Again, I like to use a blanket to support my back during Shavasana. And as we sprawl out, taking up space, I encourage that your feet go past your mat and your arms go out long as you start to feel held by the earth. As you begin to lay in this pose and get any tension out so that you can relax, we might start to relax our face, starting with our forehead. We might uncrease any frowning or let go of tension in this area. We might remove the tongue from the top of the mouth. Begin to release any weight that we might have in our shoulders, allowing the earth to cradle us, trusting that it's got our back. Dropping any tension we might have in our hands, completely releasing. Any tension in our stomach, unclenching our glutes, our hamstrings, tension in our feet. And letting go so that we can be held and cradled. Begin to release any weight that we might have in our shoulders, allowing the earth to cradle us, trusting that it's got our back. Dropping any tension we might have in our hands, completely releasing. Any tension in our stomach, unclenching our glutes, our hamstrings, tension in our feet. And letting go so that we can be held and cradled. as you begin to wake up from this beautiful time of having patience with our body, you might begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Begin to give sensation to the body. Maybe start breathing in a little bit deeper, shifting your body over to one side. Maybe keeping your eyes closed, pushing yourself up to a seated position as we come to a close in this class. Remembering that patience is not passive, it's a supported stillness. Thank you for your practice with me today. Namaste.